Hi, in this video I will talk about or continue the Oracle Cloud expense. It will be the lesson number 2. If you remember the lesson number 1, we talked about expense report, expense item, policy, how to create expense item, how to create expense template, how to create itemizable items and policies. In this video we will talk about exploring work area of expense report, how to create, how to entering, itemizing expense item. We will talk about the approval. We will talk about the how to track the expense report, how to also send it to payables for reimbursement process, and a lot of things. So let's start by once you log in, you have, for example, under me, you can find down expenses. If you didn't find it, just click here and go to down. Under me, just go to down, you will find expense. Just click on expense, save and close. Else you can also go to from here, click on me, you will find expenses. After I added, now it's appearing here. Just click on it. Before of that, you have the person who entered or login. It must be, there is one rule like employee, it must be assigned to him. It's not allowed to worker or whatever, or outsource like these users. It's just only for employee. Once I navigate to the expense, I got one error that you are missing employee setup information for expense. Please contact your help desk. As you know that the error message in Oracle, some of them, once you read it, you can get where is the problem and working on it, and some of them is not easy to get what is the error or what is the action needed from your side. In this case, if you are missing employee, it must that during define the user as employee in HCM module, there is one field for expense item. So it must be assigned, or you have to ensure that this expense item is assigned to users who are going to create expense report. So I will click OK. I can take a duplicate and go to manage users, setup and maintenance. Either in search or global search, I can search by manage users. Click on manage users. If you know the person, else you can click on advanced. Just enter the name, click enter. It's Casey Brown. This is Casey Brown. Just click on the line, go to here, expense information. So select the proper person from action, expense information. Then you will find one field for default expense account. You just put it, save and close, and try again to reopen expense report. Done. Come back to expense, either from navigator here or from the task list here. Just go to right or left. This is me. Go to down, try to open expense. Else, if you got the same errors again, you just go to log out and log in. Here, as you see here, that this is this is the expense report which is created before for this employee. Either he going to adding or expense item to the existing expense report, or he will create a new one and attach or create expense item for the expense report. Before of creating the expense report, as you see here, that this is the work area, that this is first of thing is expense. Through expense you can manage, you can check the status of your expense or existing expense report. You can also, there are a lot of actions you can take. You can open, you can submit it. If it's still not submitted, you can duplicate and take like a copy and paste. You can delete, you can print. For this is ready for payment. You will find also only open and duplicate and print. The option of delete is not there because it's already for payment. Also, you can create a new one for expense report. You can go to down and create items, or you can select whatever the items and add it to existing in expense report. From here, this is approvals. From approvals is used to approve expense reports and cash advance requests. This page is only available for the managers to take the actions. Either there are a lot of actions, we can see it later. Approve, reject, delegate, request more informations, blah blah blah. The other is for, as you see here, cash advance. Cash advance is where you can request cash advances and then manage any advances that haven't been applied to an expense report. And this is authorization. The authorization page enables you to submit requests to approve estimated expense for future activity. Then the trip pages, this can be used to automatically create an expense report from a trip and book travel, like advanced options or whatever. So this is our work area of the expense report. So to create expense report, just go to create expense report, then enter the purpose of this expense report 001. What is the payment method? This payment method you can manage to enable or to allow the users to select the payment method through manage expense system options. We already discussed about these options, that through there you can allow either enable yes or no to give the user the options to select the payment method. For this, just select financial and manage expense system options. Again, so here the scope is once you select or you put the options, you assign the proper business unit. As you see here, enable payment method. If you make a yes, so it will be applicable to the users to select the payment method. If you selected no, so it will be default. It will be showing only the default payment method, and the user cannot open the list of value and select the payment method. For the currency, allow reimbursement currency selection also. Here is no. The option is no. So here the option of the payment or the currency is dimmed or not allowed to user to change the currency. If you make it yes, it will be enabled. And also once you enable this, you just under all of these business unit. Okay, so select whatever you want. Again, I will manage expense. Under me, create. Let me try to check is it there or not. Still not created, so I will create it. Expense report 001. Everything is the same. I can save and start to adding the expense item, either adding the existing or create a new one. If you click on create new item, system will ask you to enter the type, the date, what is the type of this. So if you can make a hotel, dinner, whatever. What is the USD amount? 1500. So you can create another and you can create a save and close. This is $1,500, so I will put dinner and go to down. Because it's itemization expense type, it will ask you to enter the type or not, so I can delete it because I didn't define any itemization under this, so I will put 1500 here and click save and close. So this is violated policy rate, that the policy rate is violate with our policy or with the organization policy. So I will make a separate video for audit, so keep it now, and I will make another video for only audit expense report. Again, I can create a new one. For example, I will put breakfast, again $500. You can make attachment, you can make descriptions, you can make whatever is it for employee attendees only for Casey Brown, or you have add to employee attendees also under this expense report. For example, you can select ticket air, whatever, transportations, so you can also include the other peoples who will involve in this transportation expense item. Receipt missing, you can also enter the receipts. Attachment, you can also make it required or not from expense options. You can make it at a line required, the field header required. This is also depends on your organization requirement to restrict the users to attach the attachment. Again, save and close. Can also enter the expense location. After that, you will find your expense report with this amount. In case of you need to submit it for approval, just click that indicate that you read and accept the corporate travel and expense policies. As you see that the submit before is not allowed. Once you indicate these terms and agreement checkbox, submit is now is you can create or click on submit. Once you click on submit, the report contains the policy. Yes, I know the rate is the policy, so you can print from here, or you can just come to here, and now is pending approval. What are the actions you can take on this expense report? You can open, you can duplicate and change or make changes of the expense item, amount, whatever. You can withdraw from the approval, you can print. This is for pending approval. Whatever for the not submitted expense report, what you have to do, or what is the options there: open, also submit for approval, duplicate, delete, and print. But here there is no delete option for the pending approval. You can withdraw and delete. Okay, type. Now the approval process. The approval process, that it's like any other process approval. We talk about a lot of approval before, that Oracle Fusion Expense support flexible and configurable approval rules for expense report approval using what approval management extensions of Oracle service, that using Oracle Business Process Management, BPM. BPM work list administrator, who is assigned the role of financial application administrator. So whatever who are going to implement the approvals, he must have a role for Oracle Financial Application Administrator, can access also the approval rules in BPM work list. The default approval for expense is by supervisory, but you can modify, you can delete, you can add a new one. Sorry, you can add the conditions in if conditions. You can make a lot of types of the approval, like approval group, in parallel, in serial. You can make it supervisory, you can make it also approval group, you can make by user, whatever. So you can also go to from here, show all, just click on work list. In the work list you will find administrator, and go to administration. From administration, just task configuration, and right here finance find EXM workflow expense approval. Just click on go to task or search task type, find EXM workflow expense approval, click on it. You will then assign or click on assignees, change the switch vertical layout. You will find a lot of job rule set or rule set here. That first of things, this is for our expense report. This is for cost center owners in parallel mode. This is for project manager, which is project manager also in parallel. This is for expense template, just as a specialist based on expense type in parallel mode. For example, if you go to expense, just go to rule. Here there is if conditions. You can put whatever the if conditions you have: currency, expense report name, also item, expense item, specific expense item, currency, the amount more than, less than, equal than, business unit also. Then select the approval group, or the approval type, either supervisory, either whatever approval group, either in parallel, serial, one user or specific users. This is one. In case of you need to disable or whatever, just click on properties and if you have the responsibilities, you can make inactive and again come back to create your custom one or whatever is meet your organization requirement. For another example here, this is another example, as I told you before, that you can also mention the business unit for a specific business unit. If you have a lot of business units and you need to make it for a specific business unit, allows approval, for the other no, or whatever, so you can make the attributes in if condition based on the business units. This is another example for another business units. And the list builder, either supervisory, either whatever. This is the approval of the expense report. I think it's straightforward. There is no complicated solution, whatever. You have just to know what is the if conditions you are going to put it here, and what is the type of the list builder approvals also you will work on. After that, now if you come back to my expense me to select expenses, here you will find that my expense is 001 is pending approval. Pending approval, you notice here that is assigned to Anita Kennedy. This is my supervisor, because I told you that the approval list builder here is supervisory. So how to track these transactions? Before I tell you from where, just I need to remember you that there is one small setup you have to ensure it is enabled or allowed before go to transaction console to check the expense report approval rule. Just select financial, change feature opt-in, and setup and maintenance. Select financials and change feature opt-in, and select workflow transaction console, just to allow the expense report to double check is it allowed or not. So after you enable these options, you can track the expense report transactions through transaction console. Transaction console from tools, from this list, tools and transaction console. I will again go to setup and maintenance, change feature opt-in, okay, select financial features and go to down to select workflow transaction console. Go to down, you will find workflow transaction console. Just click on enable. You will find all of the transaction type. You just ensure that expense approval is allowed. Once you allow it, through transaction console, you can track the expense approval transactions status and to whom is it in stock, is it in failed, is it completed, whatever. That's it. Just go to tools from here, tools, and go to transaction console, and you will find a lot of status here: in progress, in failed, completed, draft. So first of thing, I already submitted, so I will check in progress. This is that expense approval is case Brown is in process. If in case of you need to know the expense report number, just come back to your expense area to check the expense report number. So I come back here. This is expense report, and this is by 10028. 10028. So now it's in progress. Just I click on it, I will see the full approvals with whom now is assigned to Anita. So I will go to login by Anita to take the approvals or take the actions, and I will show you what is the actions applicable for Anita to take it to make or to either approve, reject, reassign, delegate, ask for more informations. Just confirm and say Anita and go. We'll find there is one notification here that there is one expense report needs your either approve or reject. In case of she click on the link, the others or the rest of the actions will be appearing here. As I told you that there is delegate, reassign, and request information. In this case, I will take the approval and I will log out from Anita and log in by my user. Sign out. In case of you implement the audit process after the approval from the approvals like this supervisor approvals, it will go to the approval from auditor. The auditor, there is auditor list, there are auditor rules assigned to the audit to check everything is okay, the policy it's matching with the policy of the organizations, expense item amount is not exceed the limit, whatever, the tolerance, blah blah blah. After that you can get that fully audited from the auditors. After that it will be ready for payment. Now in case of I go to my expense to check the status, is it changed or not. This is my expense is ready for payment. Ready for payment means there is no audit is there in the process. So ready for payment, what does it mean? That you can now run the process to transfer it to payables, and from payables you can make the payment. So now I will go to monitor process to run the transaction, which is process expense reimbursement. So monitor, where is monitor? Okay, I will tools, monitor process, schedule process, and run the process is process expense reimbursement, process expense reimbursement and cash advances. Okay, and another. Okay, just select the type, business unit, whatever, all authorized or specific business unit. That's it. Submit and okay, and make refresh until it's either completed with succeeded or completed with errors. I think it's completed now. So now I can go to payables to check if it transferred to there or not. Transferred in the payables transaction type is request payment. Okay, so I will go to payables, invoices, select, there are three incomplete. This is, I think, our expense report. Is it ended by 10028? So in case of you make a duplicate, you can make check, just double check, is it that or not. Expenses and expense 10028. This is your invoice in payables. It's come here, and now the payables users can complete it to make the payment, distribution account, whatever's to complete it, validated, approval, and create accounting and make a payment, either full payment, partially, whatever. So this is as I told you that this is payment term, currency is deemed, payment request is deemed. Everything here is mentioned as meals, breakfast, meals, dinners. There are two item expense for meals and dinners or breakfast, and the amount for each line, whatever is there. And this is party as a case Brown, this is my user, and this is a business unit. Now, as I told you, you can complete and here the description is expense report 001, which is our expense report. This is the cycle for expense reports that you can make it from expense report, includes expense item, submitted for approval, track how to track it from transaction console. In case of you need after that what the actions is there, you can open, you can duplicate, you can print in case of you need to make it archive or whatever. So it just print for review, to print, take approval from specific someone. You will find that everything is mentioned. What is this person, what is the expense date, what is the total reimbursement amount, what is the status, what is the purpose, what is the items, expense item included, and what is the receipt required, receipt missing, and so on. From here also there are a lot of actions. You can make advanced search, you can manage bank account, you can manage delegate, you can also create expense item in a spreadsheet. Like is you can download this spreadsheets, and you can download it, and you can upload expense item in offline mode that you can create whatever you went for trip, whatever. So you can mention everything like expense item one by one in these spreadsheets and upload it once you come back or whatever. So last thing, that how to create expense report for a prepaid, or how to add prepaid expenses to expense report. As you know that as an employee you can add prepaid expenses to an expense report only if the expense type is enabled for prepaid expenses. So in case I need just to show you that during define the expense report, you can mention that this is expense type, is it allowed for prepaid or not. Expense type, I can make expense template. Expense for expense report template, I can, for example, this one, for the example air. This air during assign or whatever defines expense item, expense type, you can allow this is item for expense prepaid or not. Prepaid means that you cannot that you don't receive reimbursement for a prepaid expense, as the company pays it directly to the vendor, either before or after you add it to an expense record. You cannot also specify a personal expense as prepaid or apply a cash advance for the prepaid expense. You can mark only cash expense as prepaid expense. You cannot mark itemized lines as prepaid expense. You can mark only the parent expenses as prepaid expense. If the expense type is enabled for prepaid expense, you can review the prepaid expense before submitting the expense report. So the expense report displays the prepaid amount details in the amount column in the expense item section. So the prepaid amounts are excluded from the amount reimbursable to you to provide accurate reimbursement information. And the report total selection displays a separate component for the prepaid amount. Approval also can view the prepaid expenses details in the approval notification when reviewing the expense report for approval. Auditors can view also the prepaid expense details on the audit expense report page, but they cannot modify the prepaid flag that's set by the employees. Also, auditors cannot short pay or adjust prepaid expense. So as I told you that from here you can this select allowed for prepaid for the air, also for the dinners, for example, also allow. So let's now try to create one expense report included one prepaid expense item type. Again, go to me and expenses and create a new one. I just need to show you that prepaid expense 001. Save and click item. I will select one as here. This is I selected there, I allowed what this is prepaid, so I will make this is prepaid and I will put 4,000. So save and close. So I can create another to show you that it will be separated in the form, one for reimbursement, one for not reimbursement. So entertainment or that hotel, again I will put 3,000. Here there is no itemization, so save and close. Once I save and close, just there is duplicate whatever. Here what I told you before, employees base or what is the reimbursement amount, it will be only 3,000 for this, but for the air it's prepaid item expense, so this prepaid expense is not allowed to you to reimbursement this amount again. Once you so after that you can have a read, indicate the terms and conditions, submitted, approved. Also the auditors or the approvals will notice that this item or this expense report include one item or two or more as a prepaid expense, because the company pays it directly to vendor before or after you add it to expense report. So this is the lesson 2. Next time inshallah I will inform you everything about the auditor. Thanks for watching.